I just spent the last 4 hours compiling my list of the 10 most anticipated games for 2024, and I guarantee not all of them will be games that you're already aware of. So stay tuned, we're going to go quick, we're going to see if a lot of prep can lead to an effective, quick, and streamlined video. First, number 1 is going to be Rove, coming out hopefully early this next year. This is a 1 to 4 player co-op adventure card-driven game set in a rich, lush landscape with a narrative adventure with a lot of different branching pathways. So who you play as, how your story develops, all of that will transform as you play. I have played this. It is fantastic. I cannot wait for everyone else to play it as well. If you're a fan of Gloomhaven, this is coming from the crew that made Crimson Scales, the most ambitious Gloomhaven fan-made expansion ever in the world. You should check this out. There'll be a link to all of these in the top of the video description down below. By the way, this is coming from Addax Games and is designed by Matti Eisenbach and Tyven Garoui. I'm probably not going to get every name right, but you can at least appreciate that I am trying. Number 2 is going to be Spire's End. Oh, I forgot, but I have 3 photos for each game. You can see the artwork is done by the original artist from Gloomhaven, so all of it looks beautiful. Number 2 for me is going to be Spire's End Rangitaki. I just got done filming previews and gameplay videos for this. I am beyond thrilled with what they're bringing to the table. Not only is the artwork absolutely immaculate, like always in the Spire End series, but the gameplay is different. This time we're going to actually have a battle map that you're fighting on, so instead of just some dice mitigation, dice rolls, pressure luck elements, here you're actually going to have some areas that you're moving around, scenarios that really change up the landscape, and different challenges you have to face as you play. If you like solo or co-op driven story games, choose your own adventure sweethearts, this game, Spire's End Rangitaki, is one you need to be paying attention to, coming from Favro Ventures and designed by Greg Favro. Moving on down, we have Galactic Cruise. This is coming from Kinson Key Games, designed by TK King, Dennis Northcott, and Colton Thomas. Galactic Cruise, my braces are getting in the way, might be the most talked about Euro game I have seen in the longest time. With artwork from Ian O'Toole, it looks beautiful, gives me that feeling of On Mars that came from Eagle Griffin Games back in the day. This is a worker placement, resource management, and it looks like tableau building, engine building style of game. So if you like a heavy Euro that I haven't heard is too difficult to get up and running, but definitely leaves a lot of depth for exploration and room for you to play with how you actually min and max your resources, and you like the idea of building a shuttle system to make everyone possible as happy as possible, kind of like a Wall-E-esque, you're controlling everything, and you're trying to make people satisfied, happy, and fat. This will be a game for you to pay attention to. Very excited about it. I hope we get to cover this one. I know prototypes are in limited demand, or in high demand and limited quantity, so it's on my request list. Forge Flame, coming from Lord Raccoon Games. This is going to be designed by Quentin and Mark Vernette. Forge Flame is going to be the 3rd game coming from this publisher, and I have to say, The Last Bottle of Rum and Meeples and Dragons, I think that's the right term, I'm probably blanking on that, their last 2 games have been games that have hit it out of the park for me. I have ADHD. I don't always remember things as accurately as I should. That does not take away from the fact that I absolutely have adored the games they've put out. They're fun, they're bright, the colors and the artwork have always been something that's drawn me in, and the gameplay is perfect for a family game night, a light kind of ruckus-style game. There's usually some interaction. When it comes to Forge Flame, here you're going to be collecting gems, crafting items, playing cards and special powers and abilities from your squad of 3 people that are diving into this cave, into this mine system, and you're going to be trying to make it to that center forge before anyone else. I don't know if it's a point-scoring game or a race-to-victory game. Whatever it is, I'm really looking forward to playing it. Moving on down, we have a game that I think only has 100 followers so far, so take the time to follow the links in the description down below. Follow all these games that sound interesting to you, because a lot of these are indie games that are worth your attention. This is SpringSign. This is going to be coming from, I have it right over here, the End Games, and it's going to be designed by Andy Mencam. SpringSign is a indie gem as far as I can tell. It so far has really good reviews, and it's being published alongside a game store in VA, Vermont, I believe, possibly. I could be wrong about that. I think it's Charlotte, Vermont. Don't quote me on that. Either way, it's published along a game store, so they've actually been doing quite a lot of playtesting throughout the duration of this game's life cycle, and there's been a lot of people from the general public who've had their hands on this to play and explore. First off, I love the artwork, the lore, the theme of it really draws me in, but second off, it seems like a really interesting, high-energy style game. Still mid-weight, family-centric game, but you're going to be taking resources and taking exploration cards and taking actions that build a central town map, but you're trying to get as many votes as possible. So you're trying to squabble for resources and limited items that pop up, exploration and these different worker placement zones that show up across the board, and favor from the community, favor from the town by doing kind deeds, accomplishing quests, and taking actions across the middle tableau. You're developing the city together, but only one person is going to be reelected as the town mayor, so you need to make sure you get as many points as possible. I think it looks really cool. I know it's available to play right now. I really need to go give it a chance. Moving on down, we have Sealed City. This is a game that I don't actually know that much about, but I do know the publisher that it's coming from. Sealed City is going to be the next game coming from Cyber Wizard Games, designed by David Tompkin and Art Gregory. Now, Cyber Wizard Games is the publisher that put out a massive game called Catharsis, and has spent the past few years supporting and building the community around that title. It's a Yahtzee-style dice roller with a lot of asymmetry, a ton of replayability, and some really cool card mechanics when it comes to the hero powers and abilities, and when it comes to the bosses that you're fighting. Well, Sealed City is going to be a 13 scenario campaign game with unique heroes and unique enemies that you're going to be facing. The interesting thing about this for me is that you're locked in this trapped enclosed space, the city itself, in what seems like a post-apocalyptic setting. It's certainly a nightmare, and you're going to have to be fighting creatures, gaining resources, and surviving all along the journey. I've loved what they've put out so far. I've loved the way they've supported and treated their community over the years, and really dedicated to building that core fan base. I trust that they're going to do right by us when it comes to Sealed City. I don't have any more artwork, though, so I'm going to move on and show you some artwork from Catharsis, because the quality and the production and the time that they put into every product they've released really does speak a number for our industry. Moving on to the next one, we have River Valley Glassworks, maybe the most popular game on my list when it comes to general conversations. I have seen this one popping up on some other people's lists here and there. This is going to be coming from AllPlay, and it's going to be designed by Adam Hill, Ben Pinchback, and Matt Riddle. This is coming from a publisher who, in my opinion, has put out stellar games across the board. Almost, if not every game they've put out has been right for me or very close to right for me. I know that my wife and I have many of them. We get them to the table very, very often, and River Valley Glassworks is one that we've actually seen demoed at Gen Con this last year. The production quality is glorious. The gameplay looks really interesting, kind of a mix of Azul, with these glass beads going down a river that you're collecting and pattern building into your own little tableau. It's pleasurable. It's going to be a pleasant game to sit and play, very peaceful atmosphere, and, of course, little, forest creatures with tuxedos and jackets on is something that I'm always drawn to. For some reason, I just always am. It looks really good. Moving on, I have a few pictures. Again, this one almost got knocked off the list because they didn't have any other artwork released, but you can see the river here. You can see the glass beads moving down. Moving on, we have a game called Conservas. If you are a solo gamer out there, this is going to be the one you want to pay attention to, and hit the follow button on GameFound, I believe. Coming from Salt and Pepper Games, a publisher very well known for solo games at this point, without any of them really hitting it out of the water. I want to see them do some games that hit those big numbers when it comes to the crowdfunding sites, because they really do deserve it. But they put out little, small box indie gems, and I think these are going to be games that really hold up when it comes to the duration of time. I think Conservas is going to be an excellent one following up. By the way, it's designed by Scott Almes. So Conservas is going to be a solo little game where you're managing a fishing vessel, going out, collecting fishing, trying to meet the quotas, trying to build your resources in your dock, and manage the environment at the same time. One of the most interesting things about fishing practices right now in the, global population, but in responsible fisheries, is the balance of trying to not overfish the area so that you can actually feed back into the ecosystem and have sustainable products. Well, Conservas is going to be providing you with the opportunity to do just that. Produce the best stuff you can, catch as many fish as you're able to. It's a bag builder at heart, so a little bit of pressure luck there when it comes to drawing out of that bag, but you need to make sure that you don't overfish the markets or you will lose the long game. Looks very good. I'm very excited about it. I want to get some of their other titles too. I was scrolling through and there have been some that I'd missed along the way, so excited to see this and the other stuff that Scott Almes and Salt and Pepper Games have been and are putting out. We have Corpse of Discovery, a game set in the world of Manifest Destiny. This is Off the Page Games, a publisher that specializes in putting out games from comic book genres or comic book themes and storylines. We, of course, have had games in the past from them. Again, I'm completely blanking on what I'll think of it in a second. Mind MGMT is going to be from them, and the second one I'll think of again in just a moment. This is going to be designed by Jay Cormier and Sen-Foon Lim. This is a game all about exploration, survival, big boss creature fighting and hunting. The price tag is going to be really aggressive. It's a cooperative game for 1 to 4 players, and it's set in the world of Manifest Destiny, a Lewis and Clark comic book series that have tons of ghouls, goblins, and creatures infesting or invading continental United States. I cannot wait to see them bring another comic book to life on the table. I have seen some preview videos of this, or a preview video of this from a convention online. The mechanics look really interesting. The exploration sequence looks really interesting, and what you're trying to do in terms of the objectives that you have change from chapter to chapter, from scenario to scenario, and so you're always going to have a new puzzle to solve, a new challenge to overcome. I think this is going to be an excellent solo one. I also think it's going to be a really compelling multiplayer cooperative game where you really have to work together to find your way to the end. Again, this publisher keeps putting out amazing products for me. I can't wait to see what else they have on the horizon. And the final one I have here is Yonder. Yonder is going to be from Sinister Fish Games. It's actually going to be published over on BackerKit. Again, links all in the video description down below. This is going to be designed by Harkin Gardner. And this is the 4th game, I think, that he's designed and put out, followed by Villagers, Moon, and Streets. Yonder doesn't have too much information out there on the market yet, but it is coming from, again, a publisher that I know is reliable, puts out a really, really high-quality product. I love the art and style. What I do know about Yonder so far is that it's a worker placement, engine-building game. Again, this is coming from the guy that made Streets, Villagers, and Moon, all of which are games that play in that genre of games. So, worker placement, engine building, that's something that we've seen them do before. They've done extremely well, and this looks like some type of vast exploration on that. I love the landscape here. I love the artwork and the different type of mystical figures we have. I cannot wait to see the adventure we're going to be going on when we dive into this game. So, there you have it, my 10 most anticipated games for this next year, at least the ones that we know of at this point. If you've enjoyed this video and made it to this point, please hit that subscribe button down below and leave a comment letting me know what your most anticipated game of this coming year is, whether it's a game that's arriving or coming to crowdfunding platforms soon. Again, if you appreciate the time that went into taking notes, getting publishers and names as accurate as I was able to, and sourcing images to show you, please hit that subscribe button and stay tuned. hopefully we'll be able to feature, cover, and talk about all these games more down the line. We'll see you later.